Namaste. This is Coach Aubrey from Fitness on Fire, bringing a yoga flow to you today. Remember the two important aspects of yoga, the physical and the mental. Through the physical practice and the postures, we experience all the ranges of motion in life. And think about when you're training for your race, and especially when you're performing in your race. You're going to go most likely outside of your range of motion because you're racing and your body's exhilarated and you're just doing the movement. So the yoga helps prepare your entire nervous system for that kind of movement. Even more than that, the mental practice of yoga, tuning into the peace and the parasympathetic nervous system. So when you experience your race and you're there and you're in that state, that high state, you want to learn how to come down from that in the days after so you can recover properly. So to relax your nervous system too. That's what we'll be doing as well today. So go ahead and find a comfy place for you to sit down with a mat, without a mat. The important part is that you're here right now. So we'll begin with just some movements in a seated posture. So thinking about the neck, you're going to take an inhale. And as you exhale, drop your chin to your chest. And then roll your right ear to your right shoulder, laying the head back as you look up. Left ear, left shoulder, and then come down through the center. And continue that direction. Make these circles nice and slow as you go all the way around. Right, and just observe how your neck feels, especially if you're post-race. You're going to be turning your head a lot during the race, so if you have any soreness there, just be easy on yourself right now. And then switch directions, go 3 circles the other way. Right, no judgment to the opposite side, just exactly where you are today is perfect. Tuning into your breath, every inhale and exhale. Good. And then come back to center. You can take a big inhale, lift the arms up in the center. Exhale, rotate off to the left. Rotating through the thoracic spine, starting to move through the vertebrae. As you inhale up and exhale to the other side. And again, doing this a couple times each side, just at the pace that's perfect for you. Being in tune with your breath and in tune with every moment. Once more each side. And then inhale up and exhale. Wonderful. Moving into a quadruped position now. You'll bring your shoulders over your wrists, your hands on the ground, your hips over your knees, and then tuck your toes too. So this will really be a nice focus on the wrist joints and the ankle joints. And just stabilize through all fours, noticing how your body feels in this moment. Start to take your shoulders in circles over the wrists, opening the range of motion in the wrist joints. Circle a few times one way, really spreading those fingertips wide, hands nice and flat. And then circle the other way. How's your breath? How are your thoughts? Just being present in this moment with yourself. And come back to center. And then adding some movement through the spines. So the classic would be cat-cow pose. So lifting the tailbone up, dropping the belly, reaching the chest through the arms to lift the gaze. And then round through the spine, tuck the tailbone, lift the vertebrae to the sky, press between the shoulder blades, and draw the chin into the chest. And doing this just a few more times, creating the curve of your spine like an ocean wave. Being with your breath. And just noticing this moment here. Good. And from there, we'll open up the thoracic spine. So you're going to take your fingertips behind your head. Whatever side you start on is perfect. Drop your elbow down towards your wrist. And then reach your elbow up towards the sky. So you twist through the spine. And moving breath to movement through this posture a few times. And then you'll switch to the other side. So opposite hand behind the head. Rotating the elbow down and then lifting up. The slow, intentional movement to really allow your nervous system and your body to open up through the ranges of motions over time, creating more stability, more strength, more flexibility, more mobility through the body. It all starts on the mat. And then bringing your hand down to the ground. Go ahead and rotate your wrists. Come onto the top of your hands. You'll notice this is a different stretch. One of my favorite stretches. You're going to bend the elbows as much as you can so you can close the fists. Once your fists are closed, begin to straighten out your arms to wherever's comfortable for you. You'll start to feel the stretch and the sensation through the wrists, through the hands. And just hold it there. Be steady with it. Good. And flip the hands back over. Now the most famous yoga pose, downward facing dog. So wrists nice and in line at the front of your mat, fingertips wide, shoulders over the wrists, and then push between the shoulder blades, lift up to the sky so the scapula is nice and steady. Tuck through the toes. Keep the knees nice and soft. They don't need to be extended, but lift the hips up towards the sky. So the arms are somewhat straight and the back of your neck is long with the knees soft and you're lifting your tailbone up towards the sky. Big inhale through the nose and exhale. Sigh it out of the mouth. Release. Inhale through the nose and exhale. Sigh it out. One more time. Inhale. Good. Holding this posture. So downward facing dog is essentially like an overhead movement. Your arms are straight above your shoulders and you're pressing into the ground. Feeling the stretch all the way through the outer arms, even the rib cage, and especially the back of the legs. A few more breaths here in this experience. One more inhale. And slowly lower your knees down, knees wide, toes together, Balasana, child's pose. A beautiful stretch for the lower back, so resting your forehead on the mat. Relax the shoulders, the elbows down. And feel the subtle stretch in your back. You can bring attention to your mind's eye and the thoughts that you're currently having. And just allowing those thoughts to come and allow them to go as well as you stay present in your body. And from here, you can start to walk your hands over to the left, reach through the right fingertips. So this is a nice side body stretch, a lateral stretch and down in child's pose. All the way through the right side of the rib cage. And then come back to center and walk your hands off to the right. Reaching through the left hand, stretch that left side body. And then come back to center. Sweet. We'll move into a lunge position right now to get the legs. So you're going to step that right foot forward, coming into a low lunge with your left knee down. Find the balance. You might even use some yoga blocks if you need a little more balance. From here, tuck the tailbone so you're extending through that hip flexor. With that extended hip flexor, then you can slightly move forward. But it's not about dipping into the hip joint. You want to be nice and active, lifting up, tuck the tailbone, and then sink into the stretch. And with your breath, you'll take an inhale. Exhale, bring your arms forward and then open up towards your legs. So you're doing a lateral twist. And come back to center. And then send the hips back so you do a half split, stretching into the right hamstring. Lift through the chest, press the butt out. And if you like, you can go from lunge to half split again. Feels good to dynamically move in and out of stretches sometimes, whatever works for you right now. And then gently switching sides. So you bring your hands forward so you can step the right foot back and step the left foot forward. Same thing, finding your balance to extend through the hip flexor and then shift the hip forward ever so slightly. Breathing in to the stretch. And from here you can bring your arms forward and then open up to twist towards the leg. Nice tall spine. One more inhale. Come back to center and then send the hips back into that half split. So you're focusing on the hamstrings, so you soften the knee to push the hips back and lift the chest up. That'll lengthen the back of your leg. And if you did so on the other side, if you want to come up for a moment to take an inhale and a lunge. And then exhale into that half split. Good. A few more postures. Come back to center. And then you'll take both legs to the side and sit back. And you'll come all the way onto your back. Lift your hips to tuck your tailbone so your back is nice and flat. And then from there, draw your knees into your chest. And just take some rocks side to side. Notice how that feels on the back body. Stretch out the hips a little bit. Place your left foot down. Draw your right knee into your chest. You can either hold on to your foot or use your peace fingers to grab your big toe. You'll extend the leg as much as is comfortable for you. And it feels nice to just move that knee around. You're getting a lot of stretches in the inner and the outer hip. Right? Notice what you're telling yourself and where your mind is. You can come back to center, switch sides, grab the other foot. And no comparison, one leg's going to be a little different than the other. Good, and back to center. And then from here we'll move into a bridge posture, so this helps alleviate any tension in the lower back. You inhale, you push your hips up towards the sky. Exhale, round your spine, come down one vertebrae at a time. All the way down. And then slowly lift the tailbone to come up into bridge. And then exhale, round your spine, come down. Last one. So inhale, really intentionally move through the vertebrae. Just come down. Beautiful. And now coming into final Shavasana, we'll do this together for just about a minute. So laying down on your back, straightening your arms and your legs and finding that softness in your entire body. Noticing every inhale and every exhale. And just allow yourself to be fully present in this moment. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. And as the thoughts pass before you of, oh, I have to get up and do this, and I have to do this today, just allow those to come and go. So you can be in your breath right now. Allowing your nervous system to soften so you can better prepare yourself for your next adventure. taking every inhale and every exhale. Be here now for 5 more deep, deep breaths. And now just notice how you feel after a little bit of intentional movement, whether it's to start your day or end your day. The practice is being in your body. You can start to move your fingertips and your toes, a little roll of the wrists and the ankles. Maybe rolling onto your right or left side. And then when it's comfortable for you, coming up to a seated posture. And your hands can be wherever's comfortable. Just again, bringing in that thought of gratitude for making it to your mat today, for making it to your practice of stretching, of strengthening your body, and not only that, the practice of being present with yourself. And thank you for joining me today. The light in me honors and recognizes the light in you. Namaste.